Okay, welcome to another video I'm doing of a Martin Beyer. This is a 3D printed chassis, and above it is a replica, not a replica, it's an original Graflex. It's for my Metal Master one, but this one was the 3D printed and then painted up to look nice and sort of old. I put the brass fins and so it's a metal crystal chamber, but everything else is 3D printed. It's got the hatch cover on it. I've got some little diffusers I printed here, 3 Neopixels underneath. This has got the TeensySaber inside. Sort of a two-tone print with the brass paint. And then the battery in the back is covered in like a silver foil, and then some copper strips to line up, make it look more like a power cell. Obviously pulling the pins out here, this opens up, you can get the battery out. Because it's a Neopixel install with the TeensySaber, I solder directly to the battery. The springs, battery springs, just won't cut it when it comes to the current. And I guess the difference here is in the plasma gate, I put a small motor. This is a 6mm motor, geared, and it sits in there in a tube. And then I've got a little bit of detail. This is from an old brushless motor and one of my drones, and that just spins. Everything else is pretty much standard as what I would do on a build, Martin Beyer build. It's got the Bluetooth inside here, a little PCB up here that's shaped to fit, and let's try and get that in focus. And that's got the switch on it, and a blue LED and a red LED just to give you the status of the Bluetooth. Bluetooth module sits in between here. As I say, the motor's come through here. It does protrude into here a bit, but enough room still for the LED. I've actually got 7 Neopixels in here just to illuminate this section. One in the back here to illuminate this end of the motor. And then obviously 2 here lighting up the crystal chamber, 3 here. And I put some accents either side of the battery, again Neopixel string in there. And what I have done on this one, and it may not be aligned, but it's a small OLED display, 64 by 32 pixel. Given that we've got the Bluetooth and everything, I should be able to just fire that up. There we go. This should drop into focus. So the Bluetooth LED's flashing fast, that means it's all initialised. We've got the battery glyph display, and the crystal pulsing. And then I've got on the screen just some text. It's just scrolls. I wrote some code to make it scroll. It auto centers, scrolls off like a ticker tape scrolling display. I can bounce it from edge to edge if I want to change the settings. And obviously on the Bluetooth settings, I can connect with Bluetooth. There we go. A little message came up there saying connected. The LED at the front will be pulsing slow. And now I can move through various sound fonts.
Graflex, TFA
displayed on the screen.
The Graflex awakens by no star.
Crystalline Workshop.
Different fonts. And I suppose big thing here is obviously the display itself. If I just get to a... This is a smooth swing font by Kate Sith. If I just bring this up to the screen and try and get that in focus. There we go, there you can see it. So I've got a custom display scrolling there, giving the percentage of the battery. Then it comes up with the sound font. Then there'll be an indicator, battery indicator, or power level indicator display. And because I've got the Bluetooth connected, I can actually change the toggle settings. So this would be now the animation just bouncing left to right. No idea for that. Different fonts. Again, bouncing left to right. Or I can change it to the ticker tape display. So there's the display stuff. On the Bluetooth, I've done lots of things like it's scrolling through 3 different displays at the moment. I can press a button on the Bluetooth and it will fix the display on the PLI. I can fix it onto the battery scrolling, or I can press it again and it will just stay now on the font that's selected, the sound font. A couple of other things I can do with the screen is change the font if you want to. I've got quite a few fonts, so just sending a Command F changes the main font. And you can see it auto centers, it does everything automatic, just based on the width of the font, calculates it. It's your normal Star Jedi font. Star Wars font. There's some small ones. Small one there. And again, not to bounce from left to right. And if it fits on the screen, it'll just stay there.
Vengeance.
If it doesn't quite fit, it'll animate. Yeah, go back to the scrolling, ticker tape one, which I like better. And then I've got different sounds, so if I ignition, that sounds different, sort of indication of what's going on. Action, I call them action messages. Ignition, flash. And that only displays once. Blast. And then we'll scroll off the screen. Like that. Player, music player. Turning it off. Turning the saber off. See some of the accent LEDs in here. You can see the green moving up and down. That's actually the colour for the battery status. So what I did was created another colour that I can use in any blade style, which is called just the battery colour. So you can actually have a full blade and it will change colour as the battery's going flat. And obviously when I turn this on, I go from the battery colour to a red. So I can go up to a red. Turning it off goes back down to battery colour. And you can see in the plasma gate the animation I've got in here. It's nice and bright. I'm going to clap, speed up the level. Really fast. Bright. Turn it off. When it stops. And that's all controlled by the TeensySaber board, just through one of the transistors and some diode, sort of small capacitor to do some smoothing, etc. But I reckon that's come up quite well. I'll just get that back in focus. And I guess the other major addition I did to this is that as I'm selecting these fonts, you'll see the colour changing, obviously given the blade styles, etc. But in this case, I've only got I think it's 4 blade styles. So I've got one called flicker, or what I call Bluetooth sort of flicker, because I can change these with Bluetooth. And I've got one pulsing. I've got the cycle blade, and I've got a fire blade. And the thing I've done here is modified again some of the code where I've got the RGB or the colour selections dynamic. I can change them through Bluetooth or just by twisting the saber. And what I've done there is basically you've got a main colour, an effect colour, and then the main colour dimmed by 50%. And obviously I've got a fire hot colour as well. So if you're doing a fire blade, you can plug that in. And then I've got 6 or 7 colours defined. So I've got the red, green, blue, a cyan, a yellow, orange, a magenta, and white, all defined. And as you're selecting a sound font,
Skywalker.
it'll default to a colour that you want. So I've added to the preset. Basically, I've added just what I call default colour, and then it's able to be changed very simply by giving the saber a twist, and you'll see up on the screen here, it came up with blue blade, cyan, yellow, orange, magenta, white, and then red. And through Bluetooth, you can do the same thing, change the colour of the blade. But moving through again, it picks up the default colour that you want for the blade most of the time, which is the green, but then I can change it to blue if I want to. So it's worked out quite well, and not too much in terms of code additions. It does change the preset. You have to add one more value, but if you don't have it there, it doesn't matter. It just ignores it. And yeah, the flexibility now means that I've got 4 blades, 4 main sort of styles of the blade, and then across 7 colours, and I can allocate that to as many fonts as will fit on the SD card. And I found that it just frees up so much memory, given this has something like, I think, six blades, because obviously you've got the crystal pulsing, crystal when it's lit, I've got the plasma gate, I've got the motor, which is a blade, I've got the accents here, which is a sub blade, and the ones at the battery, which is a sub blade again of that pair for the accent LEDs. So lots of blades on it, which do take up a bit of memory if you want different colours and schemes. But doing it this way, I found it extremely useful, and being able to change colour anytime you want. So activating the saber. And generally, a swing, clashes, all good, and then a twist, and you've really got to twist it to get it to change the colour. But you can see up on the display, I'm trying to get them to focus. Red blade, green blade, blue, cyan. Probably don't have to display that because you can tell anyway from the colour of the blade. But it's, as I say, come up quite well. I'm doing a complete reset. Again, I missed that one. It's just out of focus again. Trying to get that in focus. Doing a reset. Beyer logo MB, and then back to the battery glyph. And you can see here
Graflex, TFA HD.
all the different fonts as they come through.
The Graflex awakens.
And as I mentioned with the battery, having the battery colour as a blade type means that I can go back. Here, this is the battery monitor. So I've got the little Star Wars logo. Now I've got the green here, which is just the colour of the battery. Status, that'll change as the battery's going down. The green in the crystal, activating it. You can get a nice, on spark and start up and everything else in the chamber. Again, the colour here would be the level the battery's at. Obviously goes blue down to orange, red. And on the blade, you've still got the normal indicator for the battery level. Giving sort of an idea for how charged the battery is. But you can see here, given it's green, it's pretty much fully charged.
The Force Awakens, Graflex.
Yeah, so that's what I've done on this one. I like the concept. There's lots of other features that I've put in here, like on the presets, press and hold. I go backwards. On here, press and hold will play the music just as normal. But if I'm pointing it upright, press and hold. I'm doing some changes to the display because the display is active. That's probably changing the font just to an English font. And if I'm turning it up the other way, do it again. Now it does a sort of a cycle through some of the fonts, the various fonts. And other things I've done
Crystal's power level 4.07 volts.
the voltage readout and then holding it this way.
Adjust level low.
There we go, volume at 10%. Pretty much mute the volume.
Adjust level Okay.
100% volume.
Adjust level middle.
75%. So I've got a few different things installed.
The Force Awakens.
A
Graflex.
little change to the software and the programming. I'm not going to put a blade in and demonstrate. I mean, I can, but maybe another video I'll put the blade in. If it's got the connector and it's all good to go. But obviously, the blade in and the saber on. And the colour change, it's instant on the blade. Obviously. Good idea.
Graflex. TFA HD.
The Graflex
Following
awakens.
the blue. And then the calibrate one here, that's custom. That's not using the auto colours, so you can still have your blade styles like you like them. So trying to change it here doesn't work. So you can still have all your favourite blade colours, and if you don't want to change them, you don't have to.
Crystalline Workshop.
And this one's over the tone. This one. And then off. So there we go. OLED display, 64 by 32 pixels. Quite a few accent LEDs on this design. I got to say the plastic 3D printed one is far cheaper and not a bad build. If you're going to take the time and paint it, I sort of rushed this paint job a bit, but I wanted it to look pretty old. And then I've got all the Bluetooth etc. on it. The only thing I couldn't fit in this that I wanted to, which is pretty much all the electronics that I've got that I would add, was a transmitter for the audio off to a Bluetooth speaker, which I've got working, but the module's a little bit too big, unless I can find one that's smaller that can squeeze into this chassis. This is nice and tight inside, and getting that display in is customised. The blue, I had to buy the blue display and then solder that down onto a small board and get that to fit in there. But a little bit of work. Anyway, hope you enjoyed turning it off, and see you next time.